Kandi lets Mama Joyce know, like, we are about to be celebrating our 9-year anniversary. This has to stop. And I was like, Kandi?
Roxy says we're gonna talk about it. Roxy says we're gonna talk about it.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Roxy with Roxy Says, and we're gonna talk about it. So today we are reviewing Real Housewives of Atlanta season 15 episode 5. So this episode starts off where we left off. The ladies are still in Alabama at the hotel. Marlo is still acting a fool, begging and pleading for Kenya's attention. And apparently because Marlo couldn't get Kenya's attention, she made a beeline for Monetta. As we saw when Marlo was walking out, she slammed that door on Monetta, okay? The ladies are gonna have a discussion whether or not Marlo did it on purpose. It looked very purposeful and forceful to me. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but when Marlo was walking out, she pushed that door closed. She knew someone was behind her. Who walks out of any door and slams it closed unless you want the person behind you to get hit? Like, let's not play these games. Come on now. In Courtney's confessional, she claims that she knows that Marlo didn't slam the door on purpose. Girl, whatever, please. Marlo is trying to play big dog and she's walking around like, oh, let me get out of here because if I leave, Monetta won't have nothing to talk about without me. Marlo, we can see that you are so excited to have this peach, and now you are using the same lines that the other ladies used on you when you were peachless. Now you feeling yourself. In regards to the situation with the ladies coming upstairs to Kenya's room, I did watch Kandi speak on it. It was only Monetta and A1 last night. Kandi wasn't there, but Monetta did say that she did text Kenya beforehand, before they went upstairs. She sent Kenya a text and she said, hey girl, we about to come upstairs. Now, Monetta says she didn't know if Brooklyn was in the room with Kenya or if Brooklyn was like in a nearby room with the nanny. Monetta says she didn't know that. I still think as a friend, Monetta and Sheree,
who is a damn liar, we gonna see later in the episode because she claims she didn't kick the door, but production rolled the tape back and we see that she did kick the door.
Monetta and Sheree as friends should have told Marlo, like, girl, what are you doing? Why are you kicking the door? Whether or not Brooklyn is in the room, why are you kicking the door? First of all, I would have been embarrassed as hell to be with someone who's walking around a hotel kicking doors. Like, girl, we're not doing that, okay? We're not doing that. Back in the lobby, Sonia, Monetta, and Sheree call up Kenya and they're like, girl, what are we here for? What's going on? And Kenya finally breaks it down and she says, I'm performing at the halftime show tomorrow. And Sheree's like, girl, that's all you had to say. Like, why are you keeping it such a big secret? All you had to do was let us know that. We don't care about no game. We're here to see you. Sanya gets on the phone with Kenya and Sanya asks Kenya, like, what's going on? Do you want us to be here? And Kenya tells Sanya, like, it's okay. You could just leave and don't come back.
Ciao.
Sanya gets upset, and rightfully so. And she also mentions how extra Kenya was being in Jamaica, right? Y'all remember when Sanya had that trip in Jamaica and she had work to do and Kenya felt offended and felt like Sanya was a bad host. Kenya, please don't host no more trips. We're good. Thank you so much, but we're good, okay? Because Kenya, your trips are always a damn disaster. Straight up. They're always horrible. And Sanya's like, say less because I got work in the morning anyway. Like, Sanya was leaving anyway. She said that at the beginning of the last episode. And then Kenya tells Monetta and Sheree, honestly, anyone who isn't in my close group of friends, you can tell them all to leave. Now, Kenya, why the hell did you invite them in the first place? If they were not your friends, why did you invite them? Sanya shouldn't have been there. Marlo ass definitely shouldn't have been there. And that's part of the reason why this show comes off as so fake sometimes, because we know in the real world, in everyday life, Kenya ain't inviting Marlo anywhere, okay? So why the hell would she invite her to Birmingham, Alabama, if not but for producers telling her to do so? Like, come on now. We don't believe it. Marlo is sitting with Courtney and she's like,
I'm just so mad that I let her control me.
Marlo, what are you talking? Every time Marlo is on my screen, I am confused. I am genuinely confused. I am genuinely concerned and worried about her. It's the lack of accountability for me. It's her blaming her actions on other people.
Who controlled you?
Did y'all see any controlling behavior from Kenya on this trip? Other than her giving them an itinerary, like I said in my last review. I really don't know what the fuck Marlo was talking about. I don't know. Let me know down below. Maybe let me know. Marlo texts Kenya some foolishness, cursing her out. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to post this on Instagram too. And Courtney's like, no, don't do that. And you can just see how much Marlo wants a reaction from Kenya. We are afraid, Marlo. You're scaring us because it's so unhealthy. Like, you are a grown woman and we can tell that she wants a rise out of Kenya so bad. So bad. And it's obvious. She better not come to the reunion and say she was paying Kenya dust and she don't care. Because that is not what it's giving. It's giving obsessed. And in Marlo and Sonya's defense, I definitely understand going on a trip, having no information about what it's for, what you need to wear. I get it, because I would be irritated too. I'd be like,
look, bitch,
what the fuck are we here for? I need to know what to wear. I need to know where we're going. I need to know what we're doing. I get it. But is that an excuse to go to someone's door and kick it? No, it's not. So Marlo trying to justify her behavior because Kenya wouldn't give her the ins and outs of what they were there for. No, ma'am, it's not gonna work. Sanya comes downstairs with her bags and she asks Marlo, like, are you gonna leave? Because if she want me gone, I know she wants your ass gone. And Marlo's like, I ain't going nowhere. She not gonna control me, blah, 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 blah. Sheree and Monetta are still on the phone with Kenya, and Sanya starts speaking and expressing her grievances with Kenya pretty much telling her that she could go and not come back. And while she's talking, Kenya's like, hold up. Who's speaking? And Sanya's like, oh, so now you don't know my voice? You don't know my voice? Kenya, you know who the hell was speaking. Like, come on now. That was shady as hell. While that's going on, Marlo is still milking the moment as much as she can, putting 20 on 10, coming for Monetta, saying Monetta's a follower, and she kisses more ass than Kenya eats. I was like, boo, that wasn't funny. Marlo, you're whack. So I guess that Drew really did have the flu because we see her coming from the hospital, okay? But knowing Drew, that could be staged. The same way that they're staging this marriage to look like they're in love, but we know that they are currently going through a divorce. So with Drew and Ralph, you never know what's real and what's fake. So we see Candy schedule some time for her and Todd. Todd is working on a movie and it's called The Pass. I actually really like the idea. It's about a couple who gives each other a hall pass, you know, to sleep with someone else. I think if done correctly, that would make a really good movie. So while Todd is telling Candy about his idea, she starts texting. She is clearly distracted and Todd gets annoyed and he's like, look, I need you to put the same concentration and the same focus into my shit as I put into your shit. You can't be here texting while I'm telling you about my ideas. That's not fair. Especially when she claims that she scheduled time for this meeting with Todd. I agree with Todd. He should be getting her undivided attention. They have a little conversation about the situation that happened with Mama Joyce at BravoCon and the negative things that she said about Todd. Todd says, like, I'm over it at this point. Like, Kayla, his daughter, is the one who told him. She's over it. She's really upset by it. Todd says, I don't know if maybe she's playing up this evil mother-in-law role. Does she really hate me that much, or is she just playing up this role because she knows that's what the people want to see? But at the end of the day, he's tired of it, and rightfully so. Next, we see Marlo on the phone with her life coach, Sharon Green. Miss Sharon Green, I would sue Marlo. Like, I would sue Marlo. She is bad for business. She is giving you the worst advertisement ever. And I'm sure when you signed up to be her life coach, you thought that this would be great for your business, right? You thought this would be some amazing exposure. Child, if you traded your services for free in exchange for the exposure that you would get from being on Real Housewives of Atlanta, baby, I'm gonna need you to get your money because the exposure is not good. Clearly, whatever services you are providing for Marlo Hampton, it is not working, ma'am. It's not. Next, we see Kenya at the hotel and she is calling the ambulance. It says that at 9 a.m. she told producers that she couldn't shoot for the day. She's feeling dizzy and she's having trouble breathing. And we find out that Kenya is recently recovering from COVID. So the ladies meet up in Sheree's room and she's telling them what happened. Early in the morning, she heard all of this commotion. And then she sees the EMTs at Kenya's room and they take her to the hospital. And Marlo's like, what? What? Like, girl. And Marlo's asking, oh, how's Brooklyn? Girl, last night, wasn't you just saying fuck Brooklyn, put her in another room? Like, now you so concerned about Brooklyn? You wasn't concerned about Brooklyn when Kenya said, bitch, what's wrong with you? My daughter's in here and you're kicking my door. Now you're concerned about Brooklyn. You say Drew be acting? Drew do be acting. But you're acting too. You don't give a damn about Brooklyn or Kenya. So they FaceTime Kenya. She lets them know that she has a fever of 102. And Monetta gets really emotional. Seeing Kenya look so sick and so weak, it triggers her because it reminds her of seeing her mother sick in the hospital. And her mother recently passed away in July. So the ladies are comforting her and Marlo gives her a hug. Then Marlo says, we should say a prayer. I wouldn't want Marlo praying for me in any capacity. I don't want her praying to any God for me. I don't want her praying to the universe for me. I don't want any words being spoken over my life from a Marlo Hampton, okay? I'm good, thank you. No, thank you. No. So after the prayer, Marlo hugs Monetta, and Monetta is like, I appreciate that, but I do want you to know that you hit me with that door yesterday. And Marlo's like,
oh, I didn't even know I did that. I was drunk. I wasn't aware.
She says the door was really, really heavy, and Sheree vouches for her. Sheree, that door was heavy. The door was heavy. Marlo and Monetta agree to let bygones be bygones. We know that's not gonna last for long. So the next morning, I can't remember if it was Monetta or Sheree, but they say that they spoke to Kenya and they said that they're gonna be keeping her to run some more tests. Marlo says she had called the hospital because she was gonna send Kenya flowers, but they said that she already checked out. So I don't know if Kenya is still in the hospital or if she checked out. Maybe I was washing dishes during that scene. I don't know what happened, but Marlo said she was going to send Kenya some flowers. Why are you doing so much for someone that you show so much hatred towards? Like, that shit is sick to me. And then in Marlo's confessional, she's like, I said get well soon, not get well immediately. Do you see what I'm talking about? Girl, you were just praying for this lady's health, and the next day you're saying, oh, I didn't want you to get well that soon. Like, so you wanted her to be sick for a longer period of time? Is that what you prayed for? Like, girl. Monetta does a little dance and gives them a little taste of the dance that Kenya would have been doing had she not gotten sick. Marlo tells Monetta that she would like if they could keep this nice and peaceful energy when they get back to Atlanta. And Monetta's like, yeah, I'm open to that as long as you respect me and you're not trying to fight my friends. And Marlo's like,
I don't know if I could do that.
Marlo, girl, shut up. Just shut up. So next we see Sheree go by Kenya's house. So Kenya's back home now. And she lets her know that she had to get a chest x-ray and they didn't find anything on her chest, but she did have the flu. Kenya's really down about not being able to perform at the halftime show because she did not attend a HBCU. So she felt like this would have been a great opportunity for her to be a part of a HBCU event and to grow her business. So you could tell that she's really down about not being able to do this halftime show that she had planned. They speak about the situation at the hotel with Marlo kicking the door. Sheree says that she cannot defend Marlo and she was wrong for kicking the door. Sheree says that she did not kick the door, but we see that she did kick the door. We know Sheree is a liar, so there's that. Do you think Sheree's gonna tell Marlo about how she feels about Marlo kicking the door? I doubt it. Sheree is also giving big flip-flop energy. She's one way in front of Kenya. She's another way in front of Marlo. Sheree, you're gonna have to pick a side, baby. You're right on the flip-flop line with Sonya. Y'all are doing the same shit at this point. You're gonna have to pick a side, baby. Sheree actually tells Kenya she thinks that Marlo really wants her attention and her approval. And I'm like, duh. We all know this. Have you told this to Marlo though, or asked her where this obsession with Kenya comes from? No, you have not. They start talking about Sheree's fibroids and Kenya lets her know that she's had multiple surgeries for them. Sheree tells Kenya she's gonna go the holistic route because she knows someone who did it that way and they shrunk naturally and she didn't have to get surgery. And on top of that, Sheree don't want to get surgery because then she can't have sex for 6 weeks.
Girl.
So I definitely understand her wanting to go the natural route, but the fact that she keeps bringing up her not being able to have sex for 6 weeks, it's ridiculous. I guess she need to be ready at the drop of a dime to hop on Martell's D, okay? Because if she not there to hop on it, someone else gonna hop on it. I guess she can't be out of commission for 6 weeks, okay? She need to be ready to go at all times, okay? Sheree, Miss Mamas, you are too old for these shenanigans. If the surgery is what you need, get the surgery. It should not matter that you can't have sex with Martell Holt or whoever the hell for 6 weeks. That might be a blessing in disguise, okay? So Mama Joyce comes over and they're doing a bunch of small talk. Oh, do you want some water? Oh, I like the other. Girl, if you don't get to it, because if it was me, my mama would not be getting all that small talk. I'd be like, Ma, what the hell was that about? What was that? My mom and I are really close though, but yeah, Candy, you was giving Mama Joyce a lot of small talk and she already knew she was in trouble. So they finally get around to it and Mama Joyce says like, well, they asked me a question. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie about it. And she says that Todd needs to lighten up. And Candy's like, why does he need to lighten up? You're the one who's always disrespecting him publicly, and it went viral. Mama Joyce said every time she come to the house, Todd be sleep. Now that was shade. She's trying to make it seem like Candy do all the work, Todd don't do a damn thing, he just be sleeping. And Candy says, well, he does that to avoid you. Like every time you come over, yeah, he's going to retreat to another area of the house to avoid you. And if I was Todd, I would do the same thing. I would not want to be around this lady at all. I don't want to talk to her. I don't want to make amends with her. I'm good. I just don't want to be in her presence. And Mama Joyce makes it seem like she is unable to be around Todd unless she's being disrespectful to him. And that's crazy to me. Mama Joyce says when she first met Todd, he was meek and he was shy. And now he's like George Jefferson. So Mama Joyce thinks that Todd is feeling himself too much. And I really feel like Mama Joyce is really telling Kandi like, yeah, he feeling himself a little bit too much, and what comes after that is usually cheating. I feel like that's what Mama Joyce wanted to say without saying it. She like, he feeling himself a lot. He barely gotta work. You making all the money. And he going to strip clubs. It's only leading up to one thing, okay? But I'm like, Mama Joyce, if Todd was meek and shy in the beginning and you make it seem like that was better, how can it be if you were still talking shit about him then? So which one is it? Like, you liked him better before, you like him better now. You was talking shit about him the whole time. Kandi lets Mama Joyce know, like, we are about to be celebrating our 9-year anniversary, Ma. This has to stop. And I was like, Kandi? Girl, I am so proud of you. Even though for me, she wasn't like as stern as I think she could have been with her mother. For Kandi, this is huge because we know when it comes to her mama, she feels like she can't say anything at all. So this conversation alone, I think is a really big step for Kandi. And I congratulate her on finally standing up to her mama. Kandi lets her know Kayla is upset about it. And as Ace and Blaze get older, they don't want to see their grandmother talking shit about their dad. Like, they're not gonna like that. When they're having the conversation about the strip club, Kandi says that she's not bothered about Todd going to the strip club. She says they go to the strip club together. Don't they have threesomes together too, allegedly? So the strip club is nothing if they having sex with other people too, Mama Joyce, right? Kandi asked Mama Joyce, like, well, what do your man like? And Mama Joyce says, when I get one. And Candy's like, exactly. You don't got one, so don't worry about what mine is doing. Get you one. Mama Joyce does have a meddling spirit. She do need to find her some business. It don't have to be a man, but it needs to be a hobby. It needs to be something that she enjoys doing and that has nothing to do with Kandi or Todd. Kandi brings up going to family counseling and Mama Joyce welcomes the idea. And I'm like, okay, well, that's a step in the right direction. So we'll see where it goes. I wish them the best, but I'm not too optimistic about the outcome, if I'm being honest. So in this scene, Sonya, Sheree, and Drew, they meet up to get some IV drips because, you know, the girls are sick. One just had COVID. One have the flu. One is messing with community dick. So, you know, the girls are sick, allegedly. I will say Sheree looks so cute with her hair up. I loved everything about her look, her hairstyle, her makeup, her outfit. Sheree always gonna slay. Like, as dumb as she is, she gonna slay. So Drew and Sheree start discussing their issue. And Sheree's issue was that Drew did an interview where she said after the reunion, Sheree took back all of her She by Sheree merchandise. She took back everything. And Sheree said, that's not true. I didn't take back everything. And Drew said, well, I never said you took back everything. And of course they play the tape. And Drew's lying ass did say,
everything.
So it turns out that Drew was upset because she wanted one of the She by Sheree purses, but it turns out that that was Sheree's actual personal purse and it wasn't even supposed to be on the stage in the first place. And Sheree's like, well, girl, if you want the purse that bad, you could just hop on the site and buy it. And I'm like, yeah, but is the site working? Like, is the site gonna be up or is it still crashed? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Drew did call Sheree after that whole ordeal, and apparently she apologized to Sheree. So they make amends, and in Sheree's confessional, she's like, you know, I'm gonna just keep my eye on Drew. I don't really believe her apology, but for now, it is what it is. The ladies start discussing the situation that happened when Marlo was standing over Drew and yelling at her. In my last video, I said that Marlo wasn't standing over Drew because I was remembering the part of the scene where Drew was standing up and Marlo was sitting down, but I stand corrected. Marlo did get up and stand over Drew and yell at her before screaming in her face and walking out the door. So as they're speaking about the shooting and explaining how Marlo's nephew who worked at OLG met the guy who shot him at OLG, Kenya's like, okay, well, that don't got nothing to do with Kandi. Which we've all been saying that has nothing to do with Kandi. But Sheree says Marlo and her family feels that Kandi could have done more. And I'm like, I don't get that vibe from Marlo's family because we've seen after that shooting, Marlo introduced Kandi to her mother. Her mother seemed happy as hell to meet Kandi Burruss Tucker, okay? So clearly Marlo is just using this pain and trauma that her family has gone through for a storyline. And like I said in my last video, it's disgusting and it's low. And Marlo, you need to go. It's disgusting, it's low. And Marlo, you need to go. Like, period. Sheree tells Kenya and Drew about the pact that the ladies made while in Birmingham, Alabama, where they promised to be kind and respectful to one another while they're in Atlanta, and they just agreed to let bygones be bygones. But as we can see from the previews, that is not what's gonna happen. Candy look like she gonna have to choke a bitch again. Marlo is doing the most as usual. To me, this episode was good. It did keep me entertained, and I'm actually looking forward to the next one and discussing this one with y'all down below in the comments. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on your way out, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye!
Roxy says we're gonna talk about it.